Hey, good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight as we venture into this particular topic that I think is going to be really pretty much informal. Uh, and I say that because I'm not going to stick to the script. It's not going to be something that we um, pretty much we may veer off topic a little bit because it's an array of topics that we're going to be touching in a sense of how we have these controversial questions asked in a relationship. Now, what if you're married, dating, whatever? I'm trying to get a conglomerate of different questions that you should ask. It's important, very important. Someone's going to be listening, someone's going to just vibe with you, and we're going to get into this. And I think you're going to have a good time tonight. So let's do this. Let's go. So, as you can imagine, uh, when you're dating or if you're with your significant other, whoever it is, there are questions that come up that could be very challenging to you. Challenging to you in such a way where you don't know if it's the question going to land right. So hopefully you can ask these questions without any hesitation, any pushback. You want to make sure, if anything, that you're doing it in a loving way. So if you're joining me tonight, um, we're learning pretty much how to ask controversial questions in a relationship. So if you're on with me, please do me a favor, share this, uh, bring some folk on who might want to join the conversation. I'm going to take some questions, hopefully listen to your comments as you chime in on this particular topic. So yeah, these are the things that you need to really pay attention to when it comes down to how to ask these questions. Um, yeah. All right. Come on. First one. How serious and committed were you in your previous relationship or partnership? Well, this is a question that comes up from many people because this will be the sure tell sign, do you want to continue to go forward? This here is a launching pad for you to go to the next level with the relationship. You know exactly what you're getting. When you ask the question, how serious and committed were you in your previous with your previous partner or your last relationship? This is a jump starter because it lets you know how to deal with the person going forward. Should you take the person serious? Should you even entertain the thought that this person wants to take it to the next level? Next level for you may be, listen, from dating to courtship to engagement. These questions should be asked at your pretty much at your basic level of your relationship. You're meeting the person. How serious were you? Was it a fling? Was it that were just pretty much a one night stand, for the lack of better words, or just hit it and quit it, whatever that looks like, whatever decade you're in. You want to pretty much ask the question: how serious and committed were you in your last or your previous relationship partnership? This is intuitive because what happens is as soon as you find out the person isn't serious, wasn't serious about them, it could be a track record. And this is how you gauge if you want to be with the person going forward. Don't play yourself. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in, oh, they just did this or they did that. I always, when someone tells me what happened in a relationship previously, I always ask, what is it that they did? What did they do? Because it's easy to blame the other person. What did they do to mess up the relationship? Always the other person. And then you find out, some other stuff coming down the side. You start seeing the patterns. So again, how did they handle their last relationship? Was it serious? Was it committed? Was it a one night stand? What was it? You have to ask these questions. Number two, would you contemplate keeping your relationship open? You'll be surprised on how this question comes up in a lot of conversations. Yeah, do you want to keep this? Would you contemplate about keeping this relationship open? Now, if you can chime in and say hello, say no, say that's crazy, whatever. But I need to hear from you as I go through these questions. What are your thoughts on it? So please feel free to comment. And also, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. I'd love to hear from you. And this is the question that is really prevalent for now. 10, 15 years ago, maybe not. Now, it's the thing. And I'm touching on this topic very soon on polygamy and so forth. And, do you want, not just open relationship, but having multiple partners within the relationship. So when you say open means that they don't see the person. Could be. Maybe they do. But these are questions that you have to ask because you don't know a person's past. So you have to ask these questions about, hey, are we anonymous, or, is this me and you exclusive? Or what are we doing? So this is important. All right, number three. And as I said, I'm going to jump all over the place here. If you got to know that I am dating another person, what would you do? You don't know anyone until they get angry. What would the person do? These are legit questions because you may be thinking that you're serious. The other person may not be thinking that they're serious. They're just in the relationship to be in it. They're just killing time. They're just whatever. They're just blowing, whatever the wind blows, they blow. You never know. So this is important to understand that you have to ask questions in order to proceed on whatever level of the relationship. And again, it could be dating, your first date on the person, and you want to date them exclusively, or courting, meaning you're pretty much really getting serious. And the next level, of course, when you get engaged. If you're finding this stuff out that you don't agree with it when you're engaged, my word to you is, unless you can handle it, back out. Now you would say, Pastor Rick, you're giving me pretty much a worldly mindset. No, I'm giving you reality. Because many people like to base their lives off of Christianity, but the fact of the matter is many people don't live it. Now I encourage you to do it. However, real talk, people don't. So this is important to note for yourself. Where's your foundation? Where's your where are you pulling your information from? Meaning for life or relationships. Is it from the Word of God? Is it from the Holy Spirit? Is it from your pastor, your mother, your father, whoever, your aunt, whoever it is? You have to pull some information in order to have some type of foundation, so you can leap from there into solid, powerful, loving relationships. This here is not going to be a good reaction. If they're asking this question, or if you ask this question, you could be contemplating pretty much not being serious with them. Just saying. Here's one that people don't ask, and now we get into the financial issues. How's your credit? How is your credit? A person's financial history is a killer for a lot of relationships. The biggest arguments that you will have in your relationships, most relationships, is going to be about money. This person may spend more, this person may not. So both of you have to come together and meet at a place where the finances are. And I'll get into that a little bit more. But how's your credit? Well, everybody's credit's messed up. No, not everybody's credit's messed up. How's your credit? When you are coming into a relationship, ladies and gentlemen, finances is going to be the key. Well, we just live off love. You're not going to live off love. How's your credit? You're not going to live off love. Love is responsibility. How's the credit? You have to ask these questions. You have to ask these questions because when you find out that the person doesn't save money, doesn't know how to spend money, doesn't know how to work the money. I'm a giver. I'll give you an example. I'm a giver. I love and I find myself. I don't carry cash with me because I'll give it away. I love blessing people. Well, blessing people can put you get you put in the streets. Yeah, yeah. Because you know how to have to know the responsibility with giving. I would give to anybody who would ask me because they needed it, and I had it. I get it. But however, certain things back here would pretty much go unpaid. That doesn't mean that pretty much I was being irresponsible in the sense of not paying the bills. I would miscalculate and then give too much out and not have enough in the bank. So that there was irresponsible for my part in that manner. However, once I got married, I had to learn how to balance this. I learned the word real simple, and let me help you. It's one word. Guess what it is? No. I learned to say no. The same people will come to me and ask me for money. I would say no because I have a major responsibility. It's called marriage. I have a house, car, built the whole thing, but property, the whole 9 yards. You want to make sure you're taking care of your business first before you can help someone else. If you can, great. However, many people don't. So again, going back to the credit thing, this is important. Did your family throw plates, calmly discuss issues, or silently shut down when disagreements arose? This is a question. In other words, how was your family life? Because that there would impact your relationship with the person, how they handle things, how they do they keep calm, do they know how to handle things rationally, or do they fly off the handle? Do folks cuss each other out? Do folks, pretty much, somebody pulling out a knife? How many times somebody been to jail because of domestic violence? Because that becomes a pattern. Real talk. But these are the questions you have to ask. How does the person handle stress? Do they get upset when you talk about their credit? Do they get upset when money's due and you have to pretty much finagle things to get stuff done and they get upset? It could be so many different variables, but how do they handle it? Are they calm? Do they know how to calm down pretty much, or they go silent on you? Let me share this with you to the ladies, and I stress this, and you hear me say this from time to time. Don't push him. Do not push him because you're going to get something or hear something you don't want to hear. Let him calm down. Let him calm down so you can have some conversations. Amen. Yeah. So you can have the conversation or conversations about whatever situation. Here, the silent treatment is where someone shuts down. They don't want to say anything. They don't want to have a conversation. And that is something you have to understand that it has to be dealt with. Go to your corners, come back and pretty much discuss it. But if this person shuts down, and one of the worst things for a man is to shut down. It's not, the bad part is not pretty much him arguing, is when he shuts down in silence. Leave him alone. Because men process things differently, not like y'all. You want an answer right now. What we gonna do? That's not how we work. You need to back off, let him pretty much get his head together, let him get his counseling, because more than likely he may go to another man to get some information. So be aware of that, please. That's vitally important. I'm getting on the pretty much on the comment page with y'all, so give me a minute here as I look through. I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments because they're not coming up in my screen here. So y'all bear with me. I pray all you guys are doing well. I hope you pretty much are doing well this afternoon or this evening, wherever you are. And continue to let me know. Okay, I see you. All right, man, my comments are not coming up in my screen here, so I apologize. But however, as we move forward, I want to make sure you understand that as you're trying to build any relationship, your conversation should always pretty much be healthy. And I see the comments now. Thank God. All right, cool. So if you have any comments, please jump in. Love to hear from you. And for all the channels who are jumping in, God bless you. Thank you so much. I see you. IG, hello. What's up, cousin? I see you. Good to see you. Hey. So these particular conversations that have to be made, believe it or not, they can be very difficult. And as you move forward in these controversial questions, you're not there to hurt the person. So you have to use wisdom on how you ask and when you ask. Use wisdom. Use wisdom. Let's move. So, will our experiences with our exes help or hinder us? This is important. I asked the question earlier. How did you deal with your ex? Was it a fling? What was the last, the partnership that you had with them? Was it a fling? Was it just, you had a serious relationship? What was it? Because this here, the past, will hinder your present and your future. Why am I saying that? Okay, some of you may have some friends, some people that you pretty much have dealt with in the past, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. And now they're hindering your present relationship. Why? Because they're stalking you. Okay, it's a Kanye and Kim situation where he is now stalking her. He is. Don't play with me. He just wants justice. He's stalking her. He wants to see his kids. He is stalking her. Stop playing. Stop playing. Don't do that. Don't do that. All over social media, harassing pretty much the dude she's with if they're married, unmarried, whatever. It's still stalking. My point with it is that she it's going to be very difficult for her to move on because as long as that man is alive, he may harass her. Just saying. That's horrible to say, but it's the truth. But how will the experiences with your ex help or hinder us? Another thought to it that your ex, how they treated you, is that going to be a reflection on how you treat me? There are some people who got out of a bad relationship in the past and never healed from it, and they go into the next relationship destroying it because they pretty much literally took the head of that person and placed the head of that person onto the other person, the person they're with now. And they treat them this way. And it becomes a hindrance to the relationship. Is the experience that you had with your past girlfriend, past boyfriend, husband, whatever, is that going to affect us now? How is that going to hinder us or help us? And it's a legit question because you don't want to go into any relationship not knowing the person's past relationships. There's something that I haven't put on here, but what's the body count? And women lie, and so do men. Men tend to have it higher, women tend to have it lower. You have to ask these questions. How many folks did you sleep with in your past? Because that there could be an indication how far you move on in a relationship. Just trying to help you. Here's another one. How important is religion? How will we celebrate religious holidays, if at all? You've got to get this out of the way. I know folks, my wife and I pretty much knew folks who were Muslim and pretty much Christian. That did not work out at all. Not even a little bit. He would bash Christians, she would bash the Muslims. And so it became toxic and they broke up. He didn't celebrate Christmas. She wanted to celebrate Christmas with the kids. and it became too much. And you got to have that narrative where you can respect each other's pretty much religions or holidays, and you both of you may be Christians. Some people don't celebrate Christmas and being Christians, which is fine. Well, what did that look like down the line for the kids? Maybe she wants Santa Claus, or maybe he doesn't want Santa Claus. He wants to celebrate Hanukkah, or should I say, pretty much any other religious holiday. He wants to celebrate the feasts. It could be so many different variables here, but you got to discuss this stuff. These are the hard questions. If you're joining me tonight, my name is Ricardo Arce, and this is LOVEWORKS. As we jump into this conversation, how to ask controversial questions in your relationship, how to go about it. That's what we're discussing tonight. Do we like each other's parents? Oh, man. You'd be surprised how this affects people. You'd be surprised. I've heard some horror stories when it comes down to uh, literally people, mother-in-laws and father-in-laws, particularly the mother-in-law. I have to say, I have the best mother-in-law in the world. The number one. All the rest, no good. Mine, all day. Love her. I thank God that my wife loved my mother, loved her dearly, respected her, treated her with kindness and love. Not that she deserved anything less, but she was very respectful of my mother, and I love that, and vice versa to my mother-in-law. Some don't have it that easy. You have mother-in-laws or father-in-laws who will get into your business. And one of the worst things that I've discovered, that people who get into relationships or get married and they move in with their parents, that can be detrimental if you have a horrible, pretty much horrible mother and father-in-law. It can be horrible. We've seen disasters happen out of it. But the question is, do you like each other's parents? That's the question you have to ask once you meet them, whatever that looks like. Another one. How important is sex to you? How important is sex to you? Is this something you do all the time? Something you don't do not at all? It's something that the couple has to pretty much agree with. He wants it 3 times a day. She wants it once a week. How do you deal with that? You have to ask these questions when it comes to that. We say, Rick, that's not a Christian question. No, but it wasn't Christian like when you lost your virginity. It wasn't. You need to ask that question and stop playing. Yeah, ask the question. Stop playing. Let me move. I'm almost done here. What are your financial goals, and what can we try how can we try to reach them? This is not discussed in a lot of relationships, because when you're first starting out, sometimes you don't have anything, but you have to start setting this trend immediately within your relationship. Because, I'll give you a good example. In buying a house, our first house, as we were buying it, we wanted to find out how to go about it, but we waited like a good, man, it had to be like 7 years into a relationship before we even thought about buying a house. We were just living free, just doing what we had to do, enjoying our lives. Well, the opportunity came up and we bought a house. This is my point. It had to be planned. You got to set these goals. You have to set these goals. Immediate goals, let it be 5 years, 10 years, retirement, whatever that looks like. You must do this. Because, again, both of you may have 2 different ideas when it comes down to financial goals. How do you go about it? How much money do you save? Do you believe in pretty much the 80-10-10 rule? Or do you believe pretty much in just taking all the money and spending it and throwing it to your caution to the wind? People have their different ways of pretty much going about things. This person, oh, you know what? We're going to rely on the lottery to bail us out. No, it's not a good plan. You want to make sure you get together and try to figure out how to go about the financial goals. Lastly, how can I help you when you're stressed? Here's when a lot of people miss it right here. They don't know how to help other people through their stress because everyone handles stress differently. So when that thing comes up and the spouse or that significant other, whoever tries to help the person and they don't respond, listen, the way they need to respond as far as how they feel they should respond, it could be really hard to deal with the person because they don't know how to handle stress. You have to know how to handle it. Do you need to go sit in a room by yourself? You need to call you some friends up. You need a cold drink or whatever it is. How can I help you to handle the stress? Example for me. Early on in the relationship, in our marriage, I would knew she pretty much worked like literally like sometimes 12-hour days. I come home early from work. I'm running the bath water. I'm making food because listen, I'm trying to relax her because I'm trying to do them things later. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm trying to do them things later. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yeah. So the more relaxed she is, the more fun I can have with her. Does that make sense? So I had to learn the stress levels on how to deal with her. Running a bath, what you need. Food, listen, food and a nice warm bath. I know her love language. So I will cook the food. And that's what pretty much it. And vice versa. She knows my stress, pretty much know how to pretty much handle my stress. And that's how you go about it. You discuss it. Don't bother pretty much what gentlemen learn early when she's going through that time in the month. She won't be bothered sometimes, and you got to learn. The word says this. It says, "Dwell with your wife with understanding." Dwell with your wife with understanding. That's your wife. You understand her, not mine. Your wife, not the side chick. Your wife. You understand her how she needs to be treated. Every marriage is different. And how you go about understanding her is listening, finding out her pressure points. I stress to you as you get into um, deeper relationships with the people that you're involved with, the conversation has to happen about finances, about parenthood, about religion, about stress levels, about all of this stuff comes about in a relationship. You want to tackle it early on so you'll be able to not have bumps in the road in your relationship versus things that come naturally. You know, this is stuff, everyday stuff. Somebody gets sick, job situation, whatever that looks like. You guys want to be solid and not allow anybody or anything come between that. The more you know the person, the more that you can have a healthy, powerful relationship. My name is Ricardo saying this is LoveWorks. Thank God that you joined me tonight. I hope that you receive something. I hope that you continue to tune in Tuesdays, 6:30, Thursdays, 6:30. Tomorrow night, join me for our Bible study. On Wednesday night, 6:30, I pray that you join me. I hope that you continue to be supportive of this channel, literally by tuning in. That's all I ask. If you have an inquiry or any questions about relationships, send me an email right here. It's going to be loveworks.la@gmail.com. And I'd love to hear from you. I hope that you have a wonderful night. And join me again tomorrow night. And let's have a good time on Thursday too. Thursday, 6:30. Have a good one.